Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
All right, let's get to it. Hour number 2. Thanks for tuning in. Tell your friends, tell your family. We're back doing our thing here on The Fan. Weekday mornings, 8 to 9, Pack-A-Day radio show with Andy Herman talking Packers football. We also have the Mason Crosby show with our guy, Mitch Thunder Nellis. Weekday mornings, 9 to 11. That is, of course, brought to you by Verizon, number 1 in the Milwaukee market, then the Rich Eisen Show, then this show, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, broadcasting live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook every day from 2 until 5. Thanks for tuning in. Always appreciate y'all spreading the word if you can. Let everybody know we're back on the air doing our thing. 1 hour pregame show before every Brewers game as well with Tommy Wirtz. That'll be back on the air today. The leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook from 5 until 6, getting you ready for Brewers and Mets. Brewers made a couple of different transactions while we were in the break. Anthony Siegler called up from AAA Nashville. That was expected, right? Daz Cameron designated for assignment. I thought it was going to be Monasterio, but it's Daz Cameron. Rob Zastrazzini, he goes to the IL, because why wouldn't somebody else get hurt, with rib stress reaction. Never heard of that. That's retro to June 27th, and now Easton McGee, who we've seen up here a million times, he's back up from AAA Nashville. So, we'll see. Zastrazzini's pitched well for them.
He's pitched a lot for them.
Yeah, he's pitched a lot, and he's pitched well, yes. So, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, talking about this Bucs deal. They get Miles Turner. They release Damian Lillard. What does this do now for the Bucs, and what this means to the East? Because I think you can say Atlanta has gotten better in the last 24 hours, right? The Pistons, they got Karis LeVert. Did I see that? That makes them better. That gives them another shooter to go along with it. So that improves them. Cleveland is Cleveland still. So we'll see what that looks like. But those three right there, and then the Bucs didn't take a big step back like everybody thought they were going to have to take. So they're kind of treading water to a certain degree. But if they can find another legit score to go with Giannis, and I'm not saying I know who that is or how John Horst is going to do this, but if they find another legit guy that can score the basketball around 20 a night, they can get him one more guy, then you put yourself in a position to start talking, top 2, top 3, top 4 in the East. I don't know if they're top 4 in the East right now, but they're closer. They're definitely closer, Charlie.
I think they're a lot closer than people are giving them credit for. I know Miles Turner in the past hasn't shown that he can be that high-volume scorer that we're looking for alongside Giannis. But also, like I said before, his game is what you needed alongside Giannis, and that's why they turned Brook Lopez into that style of player. Yep. He's been doing this his entire career, and I think putting him into a second role where you may give him just more volume based off of him being in that second option position may get him up to like a 21, 22 point per game a night player, like it did for Brook Lopez when he had to step up and be that second option when a Chris Middleton is hurt, when a Damian Lillard is hurt. You saw Brook Lopez be able to get to that 20-point range on a semi-consistent basis. I think Miles Turner, because he's been doing this and this is his style of play, can do that on a pretty regular basis.
He's Charlie Usen, producer of this fine show. Steve Sparky Fifer with you. Andrew Wagner, Forbes Sports Brewers writer, brought to you by Focus Baseball. Joins us coming up here about 3:20, 3:25. Charlie Sounds of the day at 3:40. Talking about this Bucs unbelievable day. They get Gary Harris to come in and provide some help on the wing. Guy that can hit threes, play a little bit of defense. Been with Denver, been with Orlando. They bring him in. They bring back Jericho Sims on a couple-year deal. They add Miles Turner. They waive and stretch Damian Lillard. Lots and lots of stuff going on today. Let's go to Anthony in Muskego. You're up next. You're on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line here on the Fan. What's up, Anthony? Anthony, you there? Oh, boy. I'm going to put Anthony out. Oh, hold on. Let's try this again. Go ahead, Anthony.
Sorry about that, Steve. No, crazy day. Definitely didn't see this one coming. I mean, this had to be the most shocking thing I think could have predicted. But, I don't see what other move John Horst had. I mean, some people are mad about the fact we're going to have to pay Dame for 5 years. But every team has bad contracts. It's unfortunate to have to burn that money for a long time, but you really would have been burning it the next 2 years and without really a chance to compete unless you made a move. Getting Miles Turner, double threat. You basically take the Pacers out of being a contender with Halliburton being out. The East is open with Tatum having an Achilles as well. Who knows what's going to happen with the Celtics? They got rid of Drew and Porzingis. You mentioned some other teams. We'll see. I think the Knicks will be in that conversation as well. But the Bucks, they're in a spot. I think the biggest question mark now is what can we do? We need to get a point guard. I think starting, even if you're going to play through Giannis as he kind of did a little early in his career and put the ball in his hands more, you can do that. I think you still need a point guard and someone that can defend the one as well and be a secondary ball handler to Giannis. So it would be interesting to see what we can do with that. I don't know how much cap space we got. There's a couple names out there. I don't know. Any interest is there a possibility of a guy like Chris Paul taking a deal to try to win one? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out. Chris Paul is being attached to the Clippers right now, but as far as I know, nothing is done there. Now, again, this comes back to me saying what I've said before, which is, will Giannis go out and help recruit for this team? Will he make calls to try and get somebody to come in here and make a deal? But I think this may have to go the way of a trade. Maybe it ends up going the way of a trade where it's Kuzma and another player and a first-round pick or something to go get a legitimate scoring player.
You know what? Go for it. Why not? You got to live in the moment with this team and with Giannis. We got to keep trying to put the best team out there. I think that's what that move did, and I think Giannis will try to get somebody if he has that opportunity. So allegedly, he was recruiting Miles Turner to sign. I mean, this is probably the biggest free agent signing the Bucks have ever had. This tops Greg Monroe, the start of the new era.
Greg Monroe,
start of the second era, baby.
Yep, Greg Monroe. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. That was a huge day. Oh yeah, I was so mad at Gary, Rami, and Leroy that day. Oh, was I mad? I was fuming mad because I do what I always do, and I always like to compare it to, like, say, the Reggie White signing as far as what it means for the franchise, attracting other free agents, the big name coming in and being a proven center and changing how they play and all this other stuff. And they went crazy. They just lost their minds. He is not Reggie White. I'm like, I didn't say he was Reggie White. I'm saying what he brings to the table. Now you shouldn't say Reggie White. I left.
You were that mad?
I left. I was done.
All he brought to Milwaukee was a cool nickname. Moose was cool. That's it.
He ended up not being what I thought he was going to be. But I'm saying the day that it happened, right, like today for Miles Turner, I was super excited and giddy and going over the top, and they crushed me like a grape. And that was the end of it. And, yeah, I left. That was it. I was so mad. Man, back in those days doing that show, there'd be days I would, like, start shaking. I'd get so mad arguing with Leroy or Gary. Whew. Now I have you. You and I don't get in those heated conversations like that. Let's go to Q on the north side. You're next here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. What's up, Q?
Sparky, you finally got your answer. Every time I hang up, you go, I don't know why that guy is so positive about those Bucks
and so negative about the Brewers.
It's because the Bucks have the best small market ownership team out there and the best GM for any small market team. And I know John Horst is not good at drafting, but he leaves no stone unturned during free agency and in the trade market. He squeezes every ounce out of this roster, and he's trying to get the most out of Giannis's prime. Like, the worst part about the Dame injury was that we were going to have a gap year when Giannis is 31. Like, that would be horrendous. Like, we wait our whole life to have somebody like Giannis on the team. I wasn't alive when Lou Cinders was here, but he's here, and I'm just glad that they found a way to get Dame what he wanted. So number one takeaway, best GM, best ownership in a small market in the NBA. Number two takeaway, never try and force any employee to work somewhere they don't want to work. It didn't work with Damian Lillard. A lot of that was because of his injury. But I don't know. It never felt like his heart was in here. And I'm glad he's gone for his sake and for ours. And it's great that he was willing to spread it over 5 years so that we have some more optionality. Number three, I've been asking for Miles Turner for years. Like, he seems like the perfect fit next to Giannis. And for the last 3 or 4 years, it seemed like he was on the block. For whatever reason, Indiana didn't want him. So I'm just pumped that he's here And I've also been asking them to pair Giannis with an athletic big for years, and we've got that now. And I don't know, that I feel bad for that caller. I can't remember his name, from Indiana, but thank
Corey,
gosh,
I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, Corey.
Yep.
Thank goodness we have Giannis, and we're not wasting his prime because we're afraid of paying the luxury tax. Like this, the Bucks owners are the exact opposite of Mark Antanasio.
Yes, but the Bucks owners are worth a hell of a lot more than Mark Antanasio. Mark Antanasio doesn't have a price co-owner with the worth of Jimmy Haslam. I mean, you've got Facitelli, you've got Jamie Dinan, you've got Edens, and you've got Haslam. Antanasio has, I mean, he's got co-owners, yes, but not like that.
It's his choice.
Yes,
He's
it is.
He took on the Johnsonville Brought family, the family that owns that, took a small piece of the Brewers. If Mark Antanasio is serious about the Brewers' success, he will take on at least minority interest like the Bucks have. And the Bucks just go far and away with their efforts in the community compared to Mark A. I'm not disparaging the Brewers, but I'm just happy for days like today when John Horst is put on the pedestal that he deserves, because people act like he wasn't around and wasn't a big reason for the Bucks winning in 2021.
Oh, he absolutely was. He was a big reason for that. There's no question. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. He was definitely a big reason for it. No doubt. Absolutely. It's funny he brings up nobody should be forced to work somewhere they don't want to work. Do you remember the Detroit Pistons asked for permission to make him president of basketball operations to talk to him and interview him, and the Bucks blocked him? No can do. Now, eventually they paid him and gave him a 3-year deal and took care of him. But I remember McCarthy used to do that all the time. Have coaches with opportunities to go elsewhere. He'd block them left and right from being able to interview anywhere else because he didn't want to lose him, so he kept him where he was. So, yeah, I think that definitely happens from time to time where you've got guys that maybe are working where, they would rather be working somewhere else. Like in our industry, you've got non-competes, right? That's part of your contract. You can't work somewhere within so many, whatever's in your contract. It could be 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever. And then if you're off the radio, you can't work at another radio station for however long. Now, do those hold in a court of law? No, but most of these radio stations all play nice with each other because they don't want to get burned, and then all hell breaks loose in that market, and everybody's just flip-flopping stations all over the place, knowing that nobody is going to stop them. If one guy says, screw that, take me to court, I'm putting him on the air tomorrow, or putting her on the air tomorrow, and then they're going to spend all their money to go to court, you're going to spend all your money to go to court, you're going to win, yes, but then that's going to change the entire market going forward forever. So they get upheld. So yeah, you definitely will have that type of stuff. No question. That definitely happens in other places too. Let's go to Johnny on the north side. You're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. You're on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line. What do you think this makes for the Bucks in the Eastern Conference now after the deals today?
Yeah, how you doing, Sparky? Good afternoon. Now, I like to know what's this? Are the Bucks able to compete? You have to tell me somebody that we should be fearing now. I mean, Boston, shell of themselves for the last couple of years now. Detroit, I thought that this may be next tier now. Now with this Malik Beasley situation going on, they'll lose him along with Schroeder. They just lost Schroeder, so. And then they, mentally got to be ready for the next level. I give you Cleveland, and, were they a flash in the plan or not? We'll see. We'll see what that team really about. You got Indiana.
Atlanta.
Atlanta for some reason, always flirts at the back end of the standings of the playoffs. For some reason, I don't know. I like Trae Young. I like the team. Don't know, what they'll really be.
They got Porzingis now, remember?
Yeah, but I do believe in them. I like Dyson Daniels a lot. They got a nice little team. You got the injuries in Indiana. Then you got New York, new coach. Don't know how that's going to mesh well. What we'll get out of just whoever they don't even have a coach.
It sounds like Mike Brown's got an inside track on this. He's got his second interview, I think, yesterday or today. Mike Brown, the former Kings coach.
Yeah, that's does that change? Is that making them better?
Nope, it's a step backwards.
Take a step back.
Yep, step back.
Step back.
Step back.
what here in this NBA global war makes you think that the Bucks right now, as this team is as we are now, can't be a top 3, 2, possibly 1? I know that's Bucks fan talking now, but definitely a top 3. I see no reason why not. Maybe Orlando in there somewhere. We have to see what they'll be. Is Ben carrying them ready to take that next step to the next tier or not?
Right.
We'll see. They was just another back level team. So there's nothing here that makes me believe that this team right now, we got Miles Turner. I'm not panicked about the Brook Lopez thing because don't Miles do everything? We lost some weight.
Yes.
That's what we lost. We lost some pounds.
You got a younger version. Yep.
Yeah, he's younger. He can actually play some defense. He can, I would like him to rebound a little more, but that's what we have Giannis for. I think a low key, big time move that the Bucks did and is sitting floating under the radar was re-signing Jericho Sims. That gives us depth at the big man that we have not had. Now we got 4, right?
Well, I mean, the other thing is you just drafted Bogo in the first round. Johnny, thanks for the call. You just drafted Bogo in the first round. He's definitely going overseas now. I don't give a dang what he does in the summer league because you got Miles Turner and you got Jericho Sims. You've got Portis and Giannis at the 4. There's no need for him to stick around. Plus, you got Tyler Smith, who's going to be another stretch type 4 that'll probably get sent back to the G League again this year. So those 4 guys, I think, are your big 4 essentially at this point, right? I mean, there's no reason to keep him here.
But also, if you watched his highlight film from over in Serbia, it's a lot of passing. It's a lot of ball handling duties. Yes. It's a lot of that transition kind of out on the wing type of guys. 3. He's a taller guy, but he really plays more like a more NBA-style small forward. Mm-hmm. I think there could possibly be a role on this team if he plays really well in the summer league, and that's solely if he plays well. If he doesn't play well or if he plays average, it's not worth it to keep him here.
I saw a video of him from the Combine. He does not want to go back. He wants to stay and play. He knows that it's not going to be up to him, but he would rather stay here and learn and play than go back and play in that league again. KJ, West Allis, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's with me, Steve Sparky Fifer. What's up, KJ?
Sparky, everything. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Okay. I'm down with these moves. John Horst has definitely put his thinking cap on in the last several days or weeks, and that's good. I've been critical of him because of his horrible drafting and some of the free agents like Kuzma and Taurean Prince. But I think I've always liked Miles Turner, and I think he's going to be a good addition to the team. I like Jericho Sims' capabilities. We'll see if that pans out. I do believe, as one of the previous callers said, they need to find a point guard, somebody that can help out with that duty and that can maybe be a two-way player. That would be a big step. I think they moved from my projection of maybe being a 6 seed in the playoffs to maybe a 5 or maybe a 4. I don't think they're in the top tier yet, but we'll see what happens. I mean, there's still a little bit of room. Maybe perhaps we're in the move. I don't know what kind of salary cap they have to work with, but I like the move with Turner for sure. And I heard that Connaughton got traded, so I don't know. They got a Mitchell?
Yeah, he's not going to play here. They're going to buy him out, and he won't be on this roster. He doesn't want to play here. He wants to go back overseas and play. So he's probably going to be gone. I think his contract's like $8.1 million. From what I read earlier, it sounds like he'll probably give a majority of that back in a buyout just to get out of his contract. Now, Frank Madden brought up earlier from the Lockdown Bucks podcast that maybe they slow play the buyout or whatever else, and they attach him to another contract like Kuzma, and trade both of those guys with maybe your first-round pick in 31 to go get a real score to put on this team with Giannis and Turner.
That would be perfect. That would be a good idea. That sounds like a plan. Hopefully they can put that together. And, it's looking a lot better than it did, Sparky, 3 weeks, a month ago.
For sure.
I mean, I had no hope with what they had going on with Damian Lillard being out, and the uncertainty of some of the other guys that were free agents and whatever. But I think they have a good chance of moving up.
Appreciate it. Take care, KJ. Again, don't forget you can stream us live on YouTube now. Go back, watch any of the things you missed on YouTube as well. We have the Fan Milwaukee YouTube channel. And just go to fanmilwaukee.com/@. Use the @ symbol, @TheFanMilwaukee, and you can live stream us and watch us on YouTube. And for all of our local shows, whether it's a leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook 1 hour before Brewers games like the one coming up at 5 o'clock with Tommy Wirtz, whether it's a Pack a Day radio show with Andy Herman weekday mornings 8 to 9, or the Mason Crosby show with Mitch Thunder Nellis from 9 to 11 weekdays, any one of those, you can go and stream us. Wisconsin Sports Weekend, Saturdays from 9 to 11 with Charlie Usen and Jack Pembroke. You can stream that one as well. So always available now streaming on YouTube. Coming up, we're going to get to Andrew Wagner, Forbes Sports Brewers writer, brought to you by Focus Baseball. He'll join us as the Brewers get ready to start a 3-game series against the New York Mets coming up. So we'll talk to Andrew Wagner. Time now for your fan weather forecast. 84 degrees, partly cloudy skies right now. Looks like clear skies for the remainder of the night. Low of 66.
Played third base last year. Here's Sal Frelick, deep into right field. Did he get it? He did! Sal Frelick puts the Brewers on the board.
That highlight courtesy of FanDuel Sports Network. Steve Sparky Fifer with you. Charlie using other side of the glass. And we've talked about the Bucks. We've talked about Miles Turner being signed. We talked about agreeing to terms. Technically, they can't sign to July 6th, night of July 6th. But Miles Turner agreeing to a 4-year deal, averaging around 25, 26 a year. They stretch out Damian Lillard's contract for the next 2 years to 5 years. They're going to pay him like $23 million a year for the next 5 years not to be on the basketball team, which now makes Lillard a free agent. They trade Pat Connaughton along with a couple of second-round picks to get a guy that they're going to buy out that's going to go back overseas. And they signed Gary Harris, who's had stops with the Denver Nuggets and with the Orlando Magic, kind of a 3-and-D guy to a certain degree. So Gary Harris will be added to the fold. They bring back Jericho Sims, the backup center, on a couple-year deal as well. Did I cover everything that's occurred today? Oh, and they rescinded Ryan Rollins, so he is a free agent, but there are some that believe he'll sign back with the Bucks once this Miles Turner deal is official and so forth. Is that everything?
You nailed it.
Off the top of my head. That's pretty good. Good. See, my memory's not completely going. This guy's memory is better than mine, though, I feel like.
What's the latest on the Crew? Let's go inside the clubhouse with Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Inside the Clubhouse is brought to you by Focus Baseball. Sign your kids up now for July open tryouts at focusbaseball.com. Ages 6 to 17.
All right, let's get to it. This is that time of year, by the way, where parents are on eggshells with their kids in travel baseball, right? Because now you're fearing that your kid's not going to get invited back, or they're going to, you can come back, you can try out or whatever. And then as a parent, you have to decide, okay, if they're not inviting him back, and if I'm bringing him back for a tryout, okay, they want him back if he's better than any of the other kids, or she's better than any of the other kids that come back for the tryout. That's what we're really kind of talking about at that point. And then you have to figure out, and your child has to figure out, okay, well, do you really want to be on this team? And if so, we can go back and we can do this all over again. Or your child may decide, well, heck with that. They don't want me, then I'll go play somewhere else. And then you have to scramble and find out, okay, who else has tryouts and so forth? Who has the good coaches? Who has all that stuff? Focus Baseball, I will tell you first-hand knowledge, they do have good coaches and so forth. My kid's been over there for the last couple of winters training with those guys. So Focus Baseball, a bunch of good dudes over there. Joining us now, he is Andrew Wagner. Follow him on Twitter, by Andrew Wagner. And, of course, does a great job covering the Brewers for Forbes Sports. Mr. Wagner, I guess, first things first, the fact that the Brewers sit a couple of games behind the Cubs in first place right now, and just a month ago, I don't think anybody would have believed they would be here a month later.
I'm not shocked by it. I mean, I've said from the beginning, this team has all the pieces to be good, and it is better than the record showed. And I thought it was just going to take some time. I thought this is a team that could get hot, go on a tear, and crawl its way out of the hole, and they've done it. I mean, we've seen some really good pitching, with the exception of those first 3 games. The starting pitching, despite being decimated, has been really good, and it was only a matter of time until the offense shook out of its funk and started doing, what you expected it to do.
News coming out a little bit earlier today that Rob Zasterzini is headed for the IL. They call back up Easton from AAA Nashville, Easton McGee to come up.
How did you say his name?
Easton McGee?
No.
What did I say?
Zasterini?
Oh, that guy, Rob Zasterzini or whatever. How do you say his name? I should just call him Rob Z.
Rob Zasterzini.
Sure, whatever his name is. He's pitched really well for the Brewers, which is good. He's pitched a lot for the Brewers, which we were talking about earlier, too. How much of a setback is this for that Brewers bullpen? Because he has been relied on quite a bit.
Yeah, he'd become a really, really effective leverage guy, very good lefty out of the bullpen. So it's kind of surprising to hear him pop up on the IL today. It changes things a little bit. You probably have to see them utilize Ashbeer Hall more in more one-inning situations. They have options there. But, yeah, it stings a little bit because that guy, he's been really, really good.
The other part about this, I'm curious to get your thoughts. On Ashby and DL Hall, do we think they're locked into this bullpen role probably now for the remainder of the season? Could you see one of them getting sent to AAA to get stretched back out again? Or do you think where they are right now is where they end up probably by the time we come to September, too?
I think they're staying in the bullpen, barring some sort of, cataclysmic if 5 guys get kidnapped or something. But, you've got guys at AAA that are still stretched out, namely Logan Henderson. Tobias Myers will be an option if need be. What they're going to do with Miz, if they send Patrick down, he'll be another option. I just think it'd be too hard to stretch them out to an 80-pitch workload again, before the end of the season. And it doesn't really make sense with the options they already have in place.
That last homestand, Brewers get 4 wins, couple of losses. I think that was the baseline for where Brewer fans wanted it against those two teams of, you better come out of this with a winning record. Not 500, but a winning record. And they had every chance to sweep the Rockies there on Sunday and be 5-1 on that homestand. That was kind of a gut punch for a couple of reasons. Number one, McGill gives up a home run to, of all people, a former Brewer in Orlando Arcia. So that was the number one thing. But then the second thing is you had glimpses of what it looked like earlier in the season where you get guys on base and just can't come up with that big hit at that moment in time. And I talked about this yesterday. Every Major League Baseball team is going to have those scenarios play out for them throughout the course of a year. Without question, it's going to happen. But while you can't win every game, and you're going to lose some. Sure, you're going to lose some games, 6-2, 5-2, 5-1, whatever. But when you're playing the worst team in baseball and lose that way while you're at home hurts a little bit more in my mind than just, it's just a loss.
I mean, yeah, it definitely stings. Say what you want about the Rockies, and they are bad, don't get me wrong. They're still a pro team. They had some pretty good dudes on the mound throughout the game on Sunday. I think the real bummer to it is it just the 2 games that they lost against teams that you figure they would have beaten, both came on days when the team that you're chasing lost. Sunday stings for all the reasons that you listed. Add in the fact that the Cubs lost. You could have gone into that off day, 1 game out, and then in the lead spot for the wild card. It doesn't make that big of a difference in the grand scheme of things, but you definitely have to look at it like a missed opportunity.
Talking with Andrew Wagner, Forbes Sports Brewers writer, brought to you by Focus Baseball. Follow Andrew Wagner on Twitter at @byAndrewWagner. The other thing we talk about is, in the last month of how well this team has done. I mean, this team is among the best in baseball over the last, 29, 30 games or so offensively. And part of that is obviously Christian Yelich being smoking hot. But let's talk about Jackson Chourio for a second. Jackson Chourio, at parts of the year last year, was among one of the better hitters in baseball. Do you feel like we're going to see that again here at some point this year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's getting pitched differently. He's still adjusting to it. I don't think that, that this is the ceiling for Jackson Chourio this season. He's a much better player than we've seen so far. I think he's figuring it out. But I fully, especially if Yelich keeps raking the way that he does, I think you're going to start seeing Chourio get more pitches to hit. Right now, they're still taking their chances with it until things kind of change a little bit. Jackson Chourio is going to be fine, I guess is what it all comes down to. The guy is way too good. He's a young player, and he's going to go through stretches like this where he's got to kind of figure it out, maybe scuffle a little. Not to say that he's playing poorly. I think the one thing is you want to see more pop out of his bat. You're expecting to see a little bit more power, a little bit more damage. Again, a lot of that you attribute to the way that guys are pitching you, and I think that will change, especially if Yelich stays as hot as he is.
Another move that they made today, the Milwaukee Brewers. Anthony Siegler called up from AAA Nashville. He's a catcher. He can play on the infield as well. They've been playing him at third base some. They let go of Daz Cameron, designate him for assignment. I thought it was going to be Monasterio, but it was Daz Cameron. Fine. What about Siegler? How much run is he going to get here in place of, say, Caleb Durbin at third?
Well, that remains to be seen. I mean, he's got a lot of versatility, and there were a couple of thoughts, like is Monasterio going to get sent down? Is Contreras going to be put on the IL? So, yeah, Daz Cameron was a bit of a surprise. It all depends on how Siegler does up here. I think the important question, Sparky, is does this promotion help Giannis's case to stay in Milwaukee? Did Giannis okay this call-up by the Brewers? That's the big question.
You're not funny. just would you please tell me what you think of Siegler? Is he going to play or not? Or is he just coming up to be some utility guy?
Can I have a little fun on a day like this, Sparky? Yeah.
Just stick with what we're talking about with the Brewers. Got to take your shots at Giannis and the Bucks. Just stick with what we're talking about.
Someone's salty today. Yes, Anthony Siegler will be a utility piece. They might make a nice little platoon with him at third base for Durbin against some of the tougher matchups. He's very versatile, can play a lot of spots, has been playing really good ball, been really good offensively at Nashville. So just a little bit of an upgrade over Daz Cameron.
He is Andrew Wagner, Forbes Sports Brewers writer, brought to you by Focus Baseball. Follow him on Twitter by Andrew Wagner. Catch him coming up tonight as well. The Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wirtz. Catch him on that show each and every night, too. Andrew Wagner, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I'll try to keep on topic next time, Sparky.
Just the Giannis Bucks thing. It's a glorious day. Don't ruin it for me. I'm just trying to enjoy the day. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to enjoy a nice, as a Bucks fan, a nice day in Bucks fandom. That's all I'm looking for. You want to go back to...
I wasn't ripping Giannis. I was ripping the goofballs on Twitter who seem to think that every single decision is impacting Giannis' future in Milwaukee. Those quote-unquote insiders. Those are the people that I hate.
Mr. Wagner, have a good night. Take care.
Bye.
There he is. Andrew Wagner. Follow him on Twitter by Andrew Wagner. I will tell you, I wish they had a video camera to follow this dude around, because we don't talk about it on the air, but the stuff this dude experiences is absolutely crazy, out of this world, insanity like stuff. Like this year, Andrew Wagner on the radio, composed, all that stuff. But if you knew what was going on around him at all times, like you would just be like, holy crap.
From the way he talks about it, I don't know if he would like this comparison, but I feel like it's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm type of situation with him. He feels very Larry David-esque.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That is right on the money. Yes, indeed. That's a great show. But yes, Larry David-esque. Yes, that's not as funny as Larry David, but yes, very Larry David-esque. Coming up next, Charlie's Sounds of the Day will involve people talking about the Miles Turner signing with the Bucks. Will it have people involved talking about Damian Lillard being stretched out and waived? Again, 5 years. We can pay him like $23 million a year for the next 5 years not to play on the Milwaukee Bucks. Don't forget, you can stream us right here on YouTube, too. Make sure to check us out. YouTube.com/@TheFanMilwaukee. Use that @ symbol, @TheFanMilwaukee. Let's see here. Oh, funny, guys. Peter, Sparky's head's not fitting in the screen. Shocker, LOL.
That's what I was laughing at earlier in the show.
Yeah. It's fine. I got a big head. Y'all know I got a big head. This isn't anything surprising, right?
It's still funny.
Yes, it is. It can't control the camera. The camera does what it wants. And then you got to do all these hand signals in order to get the camera to move forward, backwards, and all this stuff. It's entertaining to Charlie and Tommy. So that's all that really matters at this point. Watch me and Mitch Nellis lose our minds trying to deal with this camera on top of our computer. All right, Charlie Sounds of the Day coming up next. Don't forget Potawatomi Sportsbook. Watch over 30 sporting events at one time. 48 beers on tap, a dozen different specialty cocktails. Charlie calls the Potawatomi Sportsbook colorful. 2 levels. You can rent out that second level for parties, outings, whatever the case may be. 6,500 square feet. It's ginormous. It's very big. You can always go ahead and reserve your table, your booth, your individual chair ahead of time to make sure you have a seat for whatever that you're going to watch. Maybe you want to go watch the UFC fights because they have all those UFC fight nights on there. Maybe you want to go check out SummerSlam at the Potawatomi Sportsbook because apparently they're going to be showing that too. This is what we're talking about. You go online, Potawatomi.com/sportsbook. Nominal fee goes towards your food and beverage that day, and you can reserve and hold that seat for whatever time you pick. Now, I would advise you be on time. Don't be late. But if you get there on time and reserve your seat, you are ready to go. So make sure to do that as well. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. This is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Charlie Usen producing the show over there, other side of the glass. Don't forget, you can stream this show on your Odyssey app, AUDACY. Those are the people I do not want to see my face, do not want to see Charlie's face. That's the safe way. It's just the audio, no pictures. For some weird reason, y'all want to see what the studio looks like and what we all look like. You can do that too. YouTube.com/@ the @ symbol, The Fan Milwaukee. At The Fan Milwaukee, and you'll be able to stream us and watch us right there on YouTube for all of our local shows, whether that's the Pack-A-Day radio show from 8 to 9 weekday mornings with our guy Andy Herman, from 9 to 11 with the Mason Crosby show with Mitch Thunder Nellis, brought to you by Verizon, number one in the Milwaukee market. They stream their show. We stream our show. The leadoff show, brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wirtz. That is our 1-hour pregame show before every Brewers game throughout the season. You can watch them, watch Tommy do his show. You can watch Wisconsin Sports Weekend Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. as well with Jack Pembroke and Charlie Usen. So all of our shows all stream live now on YouTube. U.S. Cellular, I've been with them for over a decade, and I highly, highly recommend that you get with them too if you haven't to this point. I've been with the others, and I have not regretted not one time not going back. I don't get in fights with the customer service. I don't get in fights over bills. Nothing. I have a question. I go in, they answer. I have an issue with my phone. I go in, they fix it, or they tell me what I need to do to get it fixed, and so forth. It's just beautiful. They give you text messages throughout the year. Hey, we got this cool deal going on for our customers. Come on and take advantage of this. Hey, we got this cool deal where you have a special ticket off for whatever it is to go see a sporting event or a concert or whatever. All these cool deals that they do with U.S. Cellular. And right now, they've got Us Days going on right now from June 12th to July 16th. So still a couple more weeks left. Customers who visit a store or the website can check out the best upgrade offers of the season. Plus, some of these stores are having parking lot parties to go along with it. I mean, we're talking about DJs, food trucks, the whole deal. Find out which one is closest to you here in southeastern Wisconsin. Go online right now at uscellularparty.com. uscellularparty.com to get more details of which store is closest to you and what parties are going on by you. With that being said, it is time to hear from our guy, Charlie Usen.
What sound clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on The Fan.
All right, I'm getting some news coming in here. I have not seen it yet, but Tommy Wirtz just texted me, so I would believe it to be true. The Brewers game has been rained out for tonight for the Milwaukee Brewers. So Brewers-Mets not happening. Instead, they will have a doubleheader tomorrow afternoon. So that leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook not happening tonight. I'm waiting to get word on the first game time of what time it's going to actually happen at. Once I get those details, if we have them before 5 o'clock, I'll let you know. Then I'll let you know what time the leadoff show will be tomorrow. But no leadoff show tonight. Instead, you get JR Sport Brief coming up at 5 o'clock. All right, Charlie, sounds of the day. What do you got?
All right, first up, we're going to head over to Oklahoma City, where GM of the NBA champion Thunder, Sam Presti, was discussing Achilles injuries in the NBA, and he had a little bit of a different take on it than Adam Silver did last week when we heard from him.
It doesn't mean it's anyone's fault. It doesn't mean we don't want our best players playing every single night. It's not a matter of players not wanting to play or being soft or anything like that. But I don't think we should be putting our head in the sand and acting as if there's no correlation. The reason why is because if we're pointing to data, the data is from 20 years ago or 10 years ago. The game is a totally different sport than it was even several years ago because of the amount of possessions, the way the offenses work now. It's not people standing around the three-point line, waiting for double teams and then the ball to get kicked out. There's so much movement on every possession. We're playing almost like two games compared to 10 years ago and how involved the bodies are. Then you take into consideration the fact that everyone's trying to play as much as possible because of the 65-game rule. Then you take into consideration that the back half of the schedule is more condensed than it has been in the last 10 years because the in-season tournament cannot have back-to-back games on those days. So you've got much less flexibility in the schedule. A game that's like really redlining compared to past
I don't
seasons,
like where this is going.
in terms of the overall movement and torque on your body, the uptick in physicality, right, that we have, because that's where we want the game to go, and it's a good thing. That's a good thing. But then you go right into the postseason, and those games are even more physical. So it's not a guys don't want to play thing. I think it's more we want the guys to be able to play thing, and putting our heads together and be rational about it and not defensive, trying to produce numbers and data that indicates that the more you play, the more healthy you are. It's probably somewhere in between. And I think we have to have respect for the players on that to try to understand what's going on with it.
I don't like that at all. I'm being honest. As a fan, I hate what he just said. Because all I think of, because as I'm listening to talk, I'm thinking resolution. What's the resolution? You know what the resolution is? They're going to start the damn season in like September. That's going to be the resolution. They're going to stretch this season out even longer. The games won't change. They'll have the same amount of games, but they'll start the season 2 or 3 weeks earlier, so you don't have the condensed portion there in the backside of it. You give these guys more days off during the week. There's less games during the course of the week, and the season goes even longer than it does already. So now instead, because remember, it used to start at like Halloween. Then they pulled it back to the middle of October. They're going to pull this thing back again. Watch. They'll pull this thing back to October 1st or something like that. That's when the season's going to start, and it's going to get even longer. Now, I don't know what that would do to NBA ratings or fans caring one way or the other. As I've said it before, I'd much rather have them play significantly less games, start on Christmas, be done at the same time, and then have the playoffs be done at the same time. And chop off like 30 games off the schedule. Play 50 games. Play 45 games. I'm totally fine with that. And I've had this feeling, the same feeling in baseball. Baseball could play half that schedule, and I'd be fine with it. If baseball started May 1st and was done at the end of August, and the playoffs started Labor Day weekend before the NFL kicked off, and then you're not playing in the snow outside, you're not doing all this stuff, now, to me, that makes way, way more sense at that point than anything else does. But again, none of this will ever happen for Major League Baseball. They're not going to call off games for the NBA. Why? Because that's going to cost players paychecks. They're never going to agree to that. It's going to cost teams TV revenue, money, and everything else. They're never going to agree to it either. So you're not going to get that. So instead, if you're trying to avoid injuries, how do you do that? Give them more off days. Stretch it out even more. Watch. October 1st. That'll be the new start date in the next 5 years. They'll move it back at least 2 more weeks because they can't go further into the summer. My God, you already are too. In my opinion, you end again, this is just me. You end the season in middle of June or whatever it is. Then it should be 2 weeks, then free agency, then 2 weeks, then the draft, and then 2 or 3 weeks. Now we're hopefully into August or middle of August. While preseason games are going on in the NFL, now you have your summer league in August, and then the season and training camp kicks off a month later at the end of September. Now you have literally something in almost every single month of the calendar year like the NFL has. You get free agency first, then the draft to figure it out. Now it all makes a lot more sense.
Problem is the NBA is so focused on making it a spectacle rather than finding the right moments. They'd rather come up with new different styles of all-star games, come up with the in-season tournament. Like, they've kind of dug themselves into a hole here of this style of trying to promote the game that just is not working for them, and they just keep bashing on it. It doesn't make any sense.
No, I hear you. All right, second clip.
All right, next up we're going to hear from David P. Sampson on Nothing Personal with Sampson. He was discussing the Sacramento Athletics and Luis Severino's relationship breaking down now that Luis Severino has come out in an article complaining about the team and their stadium.
He has come out loud and proud against the stadium in Sacramento, what was once considered an above-average AAA stadium, showing you the difference between AAA and the big leagues. Big difference. The union and the league got together, and they recognized that the team couldn't stay in Oakland, that the team needed a temporary place to play in the same time zone, that there was a TV revenue issue by keeping the team in the same general neighborhood. The union and the league agreed all throughout the process that the Sacramento Stadium was going to be mediocre with occasional days of total hot and wet and crap. The union was a part of it from day one. So was the league. Everyone knew. Everyone knew that it was not going to be ideal. Severino, when he signed, he knew he was signing to be a Sacramento player for 3 years.
Yep.
I've always contended that all you have to do to get a player to do anything you want, similar to an employee. If you overpay, you're going to get what you want. The problem is Sacramento didn't get what it wanted. They got a guy impugning Sacramento in the stadium every single day. They've got a guy who has these great home road splits where when he's on the road, he's playing in big league parks, he said, big league hotels, big league clubhouses, big league air conditioning, big league surface. I can pitch like a big leaguer. Now, don't bother me when I give up a ton of runs on the road like he did at Yankee Stadium. Don't bother me when I'm not pitching well or have a 2-9 record with a 5+ ERA. Don't bother me unless, of course, you want to trade me, in which case, hell yeah.
I love David Sampson. He is the former president of the Florida Marlins back in the day. We've had him on before. He's just very entertaining, very fun, and he is absolutely spot on. I agree with you 100%. And he will get traded to somewhere. I hope they trade him to Colorado. That would be great. Big league ballpark, buddy. Enjoy your big league air conditioning and your big league stadium. Hope it all goes well for you with the Rockies organization. Toodles. See ya. Out you go. Bye-bye. Right? Oh, you want to get traded out of Milwaukee? Enjoy the White Sox, Aaron Savali. Enjoy. Not that far, right down the interstate. Enjoy pitching for that crappy organization. And if I was the Athletics, I'd send him right to Denver. Enjoy the Rockies.
But it sounds like he wouldn't care if he went to the Rockies.
That's
Based
fine.
on this, it's literally just he cares about the money. He got the contract. That was the most money that he was going to get paid. And now it doesn't matter after that. It doesn't matter if it's a winning organization.
He's complaining about everything where he's at right now on a better team. So it does matter somewhat. Otherwise, he'd just shut up and play.
He just wants to be comfortable. I think that's what it is. And if that's in Colorado, send him to Colorado, man.
See you later. All right, last cut.
And last up here, we're going to hear from Gary Sheffield on foul territory.
Lord.
He was discussing modern-day baseball.
Gary Sheffield. Oh, my God. I thought I was done with Gary Sheffield stuff.
Not yet. He was discussing modern-day baseball and the problems he has with it.
And that's what I like about Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper is a little old school. You know, he does it his way, his style, his brand, and he don't compromise for anyone. And I think that's wonderful. And I think people gravitate to that. And I see how kids react to him, which is in a positive way, which is good for baseball. But the part I don't like about the game is they turn the kids into robots. The athletes are gone. You have some athletic players, but when you take away speed, you take away athleticism. And so when we're talking about this, they talk about guys that more velocity, speed negates that. And so the more speed and more guys I can get on these base pads, it'll neutralize that velocity. Because now I'm going to make you feel your position. I'm going to make you work harder at your craft than just throwing a baseball by me and tricking me. Now we're going to play the other part of the game. And so for me, this brand of baseball, I don't like to watch it because I don't like to see nothing happening. Because every inning something should happen. I mean, if it's 3 strikeouts or whatever, but it's going to be something that looks different the next inning. We may have 3 bunts. But we're not just going to walk up here and strike out and not put runners on base and make the pitcher, work. And these guys just sitting in the backyard, just, drinking on tea and just throwing the ball and then going back to the dugout. Nothing else happened. You got to make things happen.
So who is he watching? Is he watching the Marlins? Is he living in Florida?
He
must be watching. He's not watching us. Not watching the Brewers.
Brewers are the team that he explained in this video.
Like to a T. It was the Brewers. But even if you take it a step farther, like Google search real quick. We got to get a break. But Google search real quick. Stolen bases in Major League Baseball year to year. And where is Major League Baseball this year and last year compared to years previously? Remember, you expanded the bases to make them larger. You took away the ability to throw over whenever you wanted to throw over to the bases from a pitcher. You can only do it now so many times. Like, to me, That's something that I would love to find out, because to me it feels like they're running a lot more than they have recently.
So from 2013 to about 2022 is somewhere between 2,200 to 2,400. Since 2023, in 2023 it was 3,500 across the league. Last year it was 3,600, and right now they're already at 1,800 stolen bases in the MLB.
So it's going up.
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't want to listen to Gary Sheffield. Idiot. Green and Gold update brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook comes up next. And yes, we are going to tie the Bucks in to this Packers topic. Have no fear. Keith Smith, the Spa Track front office show, he's going to give us all the details on the contracts, what the Bucks did, how they did it, all that fun stuff. He comes up at 4:20. Things we missed comes up at 4:40. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from 12:50 a.m. 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.